This is the instructional how-to video for the Barbecue Man concession. Going to go over the operations, functions, and shutdown procedures of your brand new concession trailer. I have your generator here. I don't mount it till the day of pickup or the day of delivery just due to weather. I store it in my building behind your concession trailer. So as you see, this is your generator that will be mounted onto your platform or strapped down, so to speak. Right now I'm currently plugged into shore power itself. Concession door open, exterior lights on, flip up counter in place. Behind the access door we have our freshwater tank. We have drain valves and blowout valves. Water pump located here on driver's side wall. On passenger side wall we have the water heater, battery for the 12-volt lighting system and water pump. We have the battery charger, and then we have our 100-amp panel, all 20-amp independent circuits. You can run your power cord down through this grommet and be able to plug into your shore power or generator, whichever power source you choose. I'm doing direct feed as far as the city water fill. So this is the pressurized side, bypassing the tank and pump. If I wanted to fill the freshwater tank, I would do so through this port, filling the freshwater tank and then using the water pump. Periodically, you'll need to put some bleach in here to clean the freshwater tank. You'll need to use a food grade or NSF approved water hose for filling or usage purpose. For the wastewater, once you remove the 3-inch cap, you can hook up your 3-inch RV waste hose, pull the gate valve out like you would see here, and the contents from the waste tank will come flowing out. Once that is complete, be able to close that valve, remove the hose, and put the cap back in place once finished. Periodically, you will want to put bleach in the drains inside in the sink system to help neutralize the smell in the summertime when you go to dump the contents from the wastewater tank. Your tank is empty, however I do have a live tank that I've done my testing with, and you will see here in a moment once I start up the propane how it all operates. Removable railing is here on the back. We'll have a pin in each of these on the top side, that way for safety purposes. As we go inside the trailer, first unit is the fridge at 33 degrees. Interior and exterior light switches located here. You'll see inside the fridge we have the wheels for the warming cabinet, which we removed and put on legs. Paperwork for the AC unit, fridge, warming cabinet, and the griddle itself. Definitely want to take the time to read over those manuals for proper maintenance, cleaning, and whatnot on your equipment itself. Full-size warming cabinet turned on, and right now currently at 181 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead and shut that unit down as it is no longer needed to run. I just wanted to be able to show operation of it. Stainless steel table with shelf below, upper shelf above. Stainless steel table here at the concession window, and shelf below. Water pump switch located here right in front of the concession window. It's in the off position at this moment. Gives you access to your water heater behind that door and cleaning chemicals and whatnot on the other doors. Before I ever plugged the water heater in, I made sure I had continuous water flow, as you would see like here on both faucets. 121, 122, and 3. It's still continuing to get hotter by the moment. Plug here in the V-nose on the driver's side. Hood fan switch here on the driver's side. Go ahead and show these outlets working. Freezer at -7 degrees. Paperwork for the freezer in its original packaging inside. So before we turn the propane on, first thing we want to do, make sure we have this in the off position, as you would see right here, for the griddle. Turn the exhaust fan on. Activate the tank itself, which is pressurizing the line to this shutoff valve. The most important thing to do at this moment is to pay attention to your regulator. When you cut this valve on, you should hear the line charge, which is no more than ch sound. If you heard continuous gas flow coming through this regulator at time of startup, you immediately want to shut off. The reason this is so important is, as instructed, going inside, making sure that those shutoff valves are off on the griddle. But if we turned it on out here and we heard gas going through, that means this gas piping that runs down and below the trailer has been damaged in transit. So road debris such as ladders, blocks of wood, rocks, tires from vehicles or semis can hit this pipe at a high rate of speed and damage, if not break it. So it is very imperative, very important to pay attention to your regulator. As long as when you turn this on, you hear the line charge and that's it, you are good to go inside and fire up the griddle. Again, if you have continuous gas flow at the initial startup, you immediately shut this off. Contact your local gas company to come out and inspect the piping below. At this moment, the system is pressurized. For lighting purposes, at the very end of this flexible hose is where you need to have your lighter. As you can see, the pilot light is directly above. That's on both sides. These stay in the off position until the pilot lights are lit. Do not turn those on. Do not force gas through for lighting. That is very dangerous. Because propane is heavy, it's naturally going to fall. As you've seen, I had the lighter directly below the pilot and was able to light. Same situation here. As long as you have and know that your pilot lights are lit, at that point, then you can turn these to the on position and be able to use the griddle as intended. I would recommend having several of these lighters as for lighting purposes. You have your grease tray for clean out purposes. You will need to clean the manufacturer's oil off of the griddle plate before using. Again, the paperwork for the griddle is going to be able to tell you how to properly clean and season the griddle itself. What grease or fats from the food goes into the air, it will collect into the filters. What doesn't collect in the filters runs to the drip tray and into the drip cup, which will need to be monitored daily. These filters, you can see I slid that to the right side, are removable for cleaning purposes. can use a hot water and a mild soap. Allow to be able to wash them, thoroughly rinse them, and allow adequate time for them to air dry before putting them back into place. Once you put them back in place, be able to slide over. Do not leave a gap at all. You want to keep that gap as minimal as possible so you do not have grease blow by going past the filters. Do not ever run the exhaust fan without the filters in place. It's very dangerous. Do not turn the hood system off and use the griddle. The griddle only is to be used with the hood fan in the on position for a couple of safety reasons. Main thing is using this griddle as a heat source or without the hood system. Burnt propane produces carbon monoxide, which is a deadly gas. It can hospitalize you, if not kill you. So very important to not run the griddle unless that hood fan is on. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off right here for this moment, as that is the most important part to explain for the gas itself. Once your gas is off, then you can turn the hood fan off. It would be no longer needed. If you want to use your heat side, you can turn it to the optional heat. Turn that to the heat side. If you want to run the AC, turn it to the AC side, or you got the fan side. You can open and close this off and open the front or the sides and rear, or you can have it directly blowing down. As long as you have adequate air or adequate power, you can run the AC and or heat while this is running. However, it's going to go directly out that vent. Just make sure at the end of the day, when you're finished, you turn that back to the off position. You do not want to leave it on when you disconnect the power. At the end of each day, any loose items that are on any of the countertops or shelving needs to be located in a safe place for transit. Make sure that your warming cabinet is in the off position, as I had done momentarily. And if you choose, you can turn the power switch off on the fridge or freezer by pressing the button here, like so. Off and off. At this point, we have no power running through the trailer that is drawing power. And just make sure that you turn those light switches back to the off position so you're not draining the battery. Also, you want to make sure that your propane tank is turned off as well. Do not leave the tank on and just the line off. Turn both off. Before you go into transit, always make sure that left and right blinkers are working. All of your running lights and brake lights are functioning properly. Make sure that your pins are put in place on each side of the removable railing. Also, once a year, you'll need to remove this rubber cap on each wheel. There is a grease zerk fitting behind there that you will apply grease to the wheel bearings for each wheel. There's one on this one, that one, as well as the other side. Make sure that you do that at least once a year. If you want to do it twice a year or more, you can do so. Just make sure you do it at least once. Also, always make sure that your lug nuts are tight. Make sure that you have adequate air pressure in your tires. For setup and shutdown of the flip-up counter, once you are at 90 degrees, as you see here, pressing upward allows that to roll back down. Same thing, once you get to 90 degrees, pressing upward allows that to go to a fixed position. These pins continuously roll every time that you lift up. As you see here, back to a fixed position. Be able to shut the concession door. You want to make sure that you remove any water hoses or wastewater hoses as well. Also, while we're here on your generator, your fuel pitcock would be in this upward position, same as this indicates here. Make sure you have good clean fuel. Always make sure that you check your oil. Oil dipstick is located here. You would have your trailer plugged into this port here. This is the breaker for this. This stays in the off position. Again, you're already plugged in. You would pull the choke. You would start. Once the unit is started and running, you would push the choke back in, let it run for 30 seconds, and at that point, then you can flip to the on position and feed power to your trailer from your generator. The reason I don't run the generator in the video is it's very loud and distorts the noise. Once you are finished, you want to turn that breaker to the off position. At that point, that takes the power off. You can disconnect and pull away the plug itself to turn that to the off position. We thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We make these videos to be able to show the customer their product before they pick up or before the trailer is delivered, plus to also educate the customer on the safe ways for the gas, especially as propane is highly explosive or flammable, very dangerous, and we do not want there to be any unknown situations with the propane. As well as the electric is very dangerous too, but properly using the electric, not touching the blades, plugging in and plugging out or unplugging is the safe way of doing the electric. But we thank you for watching this video. If you do have any questions or concerns about this video, which is your trailer itself, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. I'll be glad to help you with any situations. We thank you so much for your business and wish you the very best.